Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Mety Toyz, or LingJiHun. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. LingJiHun, I'm sorry. It's Mety Toyz. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo, which I know it came out a while ago in Asia. It is now out here. Although there's some weird stuff going on there, we'll talk about that in a minute. But these figures here, well, this one and the other three, are some of the most anticipated figures for me in a very long time. I thought they looked great. I was very excited for them. And I've heard mixed things about these guys, that some people are saying they're actually trash, some people are saying they're actually really good, and we're going to figure it out, one way or the other, in this review. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's a fine package. It's alright. You a little ambitious to have this much cardboard sticking out by itself. You don't usually see that on packaging. It looks nice. Does block the figure quite a bit though, so I don't know about that. On the side, it's funny because the artwork and everything on the packaging is very much based on like the old style cartoon Ninja Turtles. Which this is not. And it is my understanding that this is fully licensed as far as it was supposed to be. I mean, it seems that way. It has Nickelodeon on it, and there's been no like advertising that wasn't like, it seemed fully licensed. It has Nickelodeon everywhere. It says Ninja Turtles Leonardo. There's nothing to indicate that there's anything untoward going on. There's the Mety logo there. Viacom, like there's stuff going on here that makes it seem legit. However, what I understand is going on, and if you know more about this, you can let me know. It's that is it Playmates is trying to say that there's no rights to make these or sell them in the US or something like that. I don't know. It seems like a bunch of nonsense to me, some anti-consumer crap. I don't know for sure though. So as of right now, these guys are not at Big Bad Toy Store, even though that's where I bought mine. They have been pulled from the website, which actually happened once before, I believe. So maybe they'll end up being back on there. I don't know. I will put a link, and the link may or may not work, depending on if they change it or not. So I don't know. We'll see. This guy stands just about 17 centimeters, maybe a touch shy, and that's going to make him about 6 5/8, give or take. Here he is up against Marvel Legends Darwin. And so I think that's 1/12 scale. I know the Turtles have been short, like they were short compared to Shredder in the cartoon. They have been monstrous. I think this is a fine size, like a 6'5" size, like my size. They're a little less muscular than me, but about my height. I think that is a good height for a Ninja Turtle. That seems appropriate for something that has mutated to be a martial artist. Whatever. Okay, so let's do a question of the day. What do you guys think about the looks of these? I like them a lot. It's just like my Transformers thing. I love new designs for existing IP when they have the right look to them, and this does for me. I also like the Joy Toy ones. They're just too small. I know people are going to bring those up. Maybe if they reissue them, I'll review them just because they look really cool. I don't know. They're just so little. I don't collect that scale at all. I have nothing in my collection that is that size. Anyway, these look great to me. I think they look awesome. Let me know what you think. Okay, let's get into the review. Aesthetically speaking, I love the silhouette. Overall, I think they have a really nice look going. Some slight things I would change personally, and you can decide if you like those changes or not, but you know, some people don't like new designs, so that's why I'm commenting on their new interpretation. I think the hands could be a little bit bigger, but that's a minor issue. I think the heads could be a little bit more angular. They're a little round and unimposing. They almost look like the, 2012 cartoon, where they have like the holes in their teeth, the gaps in their teeth and stuff like that. They almost look like the little kids' versions of the heads. Again, that's a minor issue. I don't really care. I think overall they have a really nice look to them. I think they're really, really good. And as far as articulation goes, I maybe would have cut the chest a little bit lower so it's not right under the pecs, but you can make that work too. Like overall, these are really, really nicely done. There's one issue I have with it that's kind of severe, and we'll get to that in the articulation section, but otherwise, like, I think they knocked it out of the park. This is what I think these should look like overall. Like, obviously every artistic interpretation would be different to some degree, but as far as somebody else designing it, I'm very happy with this. I like it a lot. I love the silhouette. I love that they're muscular, kind of like the, is it 2000, I don't remember which cartoon, the one where they actually look kind of muscular and cool looking. They're a little squatty. The ones that Super 7 did. Yeah, I think these look really, really nice. I love the detail work. It's nice. There's like washes and paint everywhere you would want it to be. His little teeth are in there. I don't like that. I wish he had just a neutral head. He doesn't really have a neutral head. But yeah, there's lots of nice detail work going on throughout. It's very, very nice looking. I think I've seen some people where they look super shiny, even under the harsh lighting. He's not that shiny. I'd take it down still to a matte finish. But he is kind of a matte finish in a lot of places. There's a little bit of shininess going on up here underneath on his neck area. It's hard to see. But mostly he's not that shiny, so I don't really mind it. I think it's a good look overall. I'm very pleased with them aesthetically. And I don't know, I guess I'm going to review them individually because they're different enough. I'll probably just skip the articulation section. That's my guess is what I'll end up doing. I didn't want to put all 4 in one video. It'd be a huge video. I don't want to make all 4 of them as long as this initial video. So I'm starting with Leonardo, the obvious best turtle. Question of the day, which is your favorite turtle? I was surprised last time I asked that how many people said things other than Leonardo and Raphael. Anyway, it looks really, really nice. For the aesthetic, I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10. It looks great overall. Very, very, very nicely done. Now, as far as accessories go, we're going to have another question of the day at the end of the accessory section. We have 3 different heads. We have the neutral head with the mouth slightly open. We have the angry head with the mouth very open. I like that one. And then we have the one with his eyes closed. I know there was some controversy about the paint job on that and the sculpt, and they updated it, and I don't know that it made much of a difference. It still just looks like they painted the eyes green, but you can do like one pose with that, so I guess that's all right. You get 3 different bandanas. Those are okay. Yeah, I think there's enough variation in the bandanas, so that's fine. For the swords, you get the crossed sword scabbard, and you get the individual ones, which could be used for various poses, of course, but they also have a clip to let them go on the back, like side by side, parallel. That's cool. Little plug to fill in that hole if you don't want to have the swords on there at all. You do get the hat and the clothes. The hat's magnetic and it just sits on top of the head. The clothes, like, I don't care about the clothes at all. I don't need Ninja Turtles figures to be wearing their street clothes costumes. I don't care. That's a waste of an accessory for me. I'm curious what you guys think about that. Obviously, we do have his 2 swords. We have the big kunai, we have a throwing star, and we have a throwing star with the swoosh on it. That's cool. We get some swooshes for the swords. We get some pizza slices. We get his communicator, his grappling hook, and the thing that Miles Dyson is holding in the end of Terminator 2. I don't know. I guess it's some kind of communication device. I don't know. You get a little thing for his belt that'll hold, I guess, the things that I just mentioned. And then you get another little pouch. And you get a whole bunch of hands. Like, it's a lot of accessories. So, other than a display stand or like a better swoosh, it would be like a 10 out of 10. So I'll go 9.5 out of 10. I think the little tip swooshes for the swords could be a bigger swoosh, and that'd be nice. But yeah, it's a good spread of accessories, and that's my second question of the day. At what point do you think it's too much? Like, I made a comment on somebody's Instagram post the other day saying, as long as accessories aren't being used to pad pricing, the more the better. And I generally believe that. This seems like it's a bit excessive, and things like the clothes cost money. Like, so I'd rather not pay extra and have things I'll never use. So at what point do you draw the line at the right amount of accessories? And how do you feel about the clothes in particular with the Ninja Turtles? Okay, let's get into the articulation, because unfortunately I think that's where these guys do fall the flattest, but not that flat. I think they're relatively not flat. All right, let's get rid of this. We don't need this. The first thing that I want to mention that does drive me nuts is this part gets pegged in. Obviously, the belt gets pegged into his shell, and that brings the straps right up against his neck for the most part. And that just drives me nuts. You would definitely want them farther out so that it's not uncomfortable for the wearer. That's just a little pet peeve thing, but even then, I have it pulled forward to do that. And when you put it in place, you really can't move it too much, and it's just irritating that you would never have a strap rubbing your neck like that. It's a horrible design for a strap. Anyway, I don't like that. I wish they could fix that, and I guess realistically, you could just never put the strap in the hole back here, and you probably would never notice because you're not looking at his shell too much. But that is an irritating thing. I probably could have mentioned that in the aesthetic section. Now, for articulation, the headbands, the bandana knots, are kind of a pain in the butt. And I'm afraid they're going to tear because it's PVC, or at least it feels like something like PVC. I don't think I can get that to move. I'm going to have to try to heat the head up. It was very difficult to get it in, and I can't get it to rotate or pull out, and I'm very concerned that the peg is going to tear. This is what the pegs look like. They have numbers on them. You just get rid of that square part, rectangular part. But it's just a straight peg, but it's very tight, and it's not a very hard material, so that is a concern that I have. But as far as the head posability, the head moves around on top of the neck really nicely. The neck itself, when you put it back, you do get a gap, like figure arts but it does lean forward, and I don't know that the neck leans much. Either it can't at all, or it's just there's not a lot of room for it. But the neck doesn't have a ton of range other than leaning forward and back. But the heads do move around really nicely on top of them, on top of the neck, so that is fine by me. That works just fine. For the shoulders, this is fresh out of the box. I mean, I handled it, but I didn't like doctor up the joints or anything like that to make them work. So this is what you can expect to find if you buy these. I don't know if they're supposed to have more range than that. It looks like with that cap in there that they should, but I can't get it to go anywhere. Now the joint itself works fine. It gets up to just better than horizontal. You do get your rotation, of course. There's no looseness, no tightness. It's fine. But that joint in there, I can't get it to do anything. Your bicep swivel works just fine. No problems there. Double jointed elbow. You can see we have the elbow strap in there. So let's see what kind of range we get. It's just going to be better than 90, it looks like. Let's see if I do that first. Yeah, no matter how you get it, how you arrange it, you're going to be around 90. A little bit better than 90, which is probably fine. I don't know. There's not a great way to work around that, so that's okay. So that whatever. The wrists have big hinges, which work nicely. No real issue there. It could be a little bit tighter in terms of the swivel, but I think it'll be okay. He doesn't have super big swords. Now for the, you know what? Maybe I'll just leave it on. For the torso, obviously he has this giant shell on his back, which is factored into the torso articulation, but it actually works pretty well. And a lot of the photos I've seen of this guy, they have him hunched over like this, like pretty hunchy, and I thought, well, he looks like he has saggy boobs. And that was one of the reasons I didn't like the way they cut the torso. But you don't have to have him hunched over. You can actually get him to stand pretty straight. It's a little tricky to get in there to get the leverage you need, but you can straighten him out pretty far. It does give him a little bit of a belly, and that's one of the reasons you don't want to cut it right under the pecs. You want to cut it a little bit lower. But it does have decent range for forward and back. That's not bad. The shell itself, I can't say for sure what's in there, but it does move around. Not a ton, but it does move, and you should be able to manipulate it enough to pose him, I think, at least reasonably well. Obviously, we're going to have limitations with a Ninja Turtle, but the torso works. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. It could be better, I guess, but that's easy to say when you're not actually designing it. I haven't spent hours laboring trying to figure out the best setup, so maybe it can't do too much better than this. It's probably pretty good. Now, the one issue I have, though, is the way the shell moves it's just kind of floppy. It doesn't hold what you want it to do, really. So that's probably fine, practically speaking, but it's kind of irritating just while you're handling it. Then you also have his belt back here connected to his shell that's supposed to line up with this belt. In order to do that, you have to sink this belt way down, and it looks a little bit weird. But that's a relatively minor issue, and that's not really an articulation issue anyway. That's an aesthetic thing. So yeah, I say the torso overall pretty good, maybe not perfect. Now for the hips, this is the thing I've heard the most complaining about, so let's see what we can do with the hips. Going out to the side, full range, standard ball socket type joint, nothing crazy there. Basically full on splits, no real nuggets, that's fine by me. Nothing's loose, that's good. Going forward, we have to press against this, and this is not a soft piece. I mean, it's relatively soft, but not really, and it's not a floaty piece. It's clearly intended to be keyed in down there. See that little piece, that little green piece? That's supposed to be glued in, so that's odd. Or I mean, I assume it's supposed to be glued in. Maybe it's just for alignment, but there's hard green underneath there. I don't know if you can see it, but the shell is not really made to flex, so bringing the leg forward is pretty limited. Going back, also limited. I don't think it's bad enough to ruin the figure, though. Would I prefer to have better range? Sure, I would. But, I mean, for sure. But it's not like it's terrible. You can still pose them, and I think that'll probably be okay. Nothing's perfect, as we often find, so this is not ruining the figure for me. It is not ideal, but it's not ruining the figure for me. You let me know what you think about that. As far as the knees go, they have pretty good range. They're not the best looking things ever, but they're okay. They're kind of weird. At least there's not a big flat spot on the front, so I can see what they're trying to go for. But definitely mechanical looking, but decent enough range. And for the ankles, goes basically all the way back. That's pretty far back. And then going forward, Not that far forward, unfortunately. I'd like to see a little bit more. The ankle rocker is kind of steep, and since there's no rotation, you're just kind of stuck with that since it's not an actual ball hinge. So I wish that wasn't quite as steep. But it's not a bad situation. It's just not ideal. Definitely could be a little bit stiffer. That's what she said. And then the toe joint is actually really nice. They did it exactly the way you should. The joint itself is the full thickness of the foot, so it's just flush all the way around. It's actually ratcheted, so it'll hold some weight at least. It's well enough placed, and it can go down if you want it to. That's really nice. So I don't think the articulation's bad. I think there are a few spots where it could be better, or at least some spots for sure could be better. Some spots maybe could be better. But most spots are perfectly acceptable. So I'm generally pretty pleased with it. Let's see. For the articulation, I will go 8 out of 10. It's definitely enough to pose the figure, and it's going to look pretty good doing it. Definitely room for improvement, though. I doubt they're going to make more Ninja Turtles. We already saw the 2 baddies, but I doubt they're going to do more turtles, so I doubt we'll see any changes. But either way, it's still pretty darn good, given the aesthetic, the accessories. It is pretty decent articulation, and it's like, originally was like $100. I think they went up to like 120 or 125. Even at 125, compare this to Bandai or Mafex or anything, like it blows it out of the water. There's way more figure here than any Mafex figure that they've released, other than maybe Bane, but he wasn't that big. More accessories, more paint, more sculpt. Yeah, I think these are an easy buy. I'm going to give it an overall rating of 9 out of 10. Not perfect, but damn good. And they look really nice, lots of accessories, they pose well enough. Yeah, I think if you're having serious problems with this figure that like aren't things that I didn't have a problem with, I think you're just looking for problems, because this is pretty darn good. It's not perfect, nothing is, and for the money, you're not going to do too much better. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but I'm not walking away disappointed. You know, I always wish things could be better. That's my reviewer eye, but I'm very happy with this overall. Let me know what you guys think, but I'll be done there. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.